want me to tell you the song of the whale lady. I'm going to tell you this right off the bat before I even get into this goddamn story. This is not meant to be offensive. I'm not trying to take shots at fucking big people and shit. This is not about making fun of this woman. In fact, I feel bad for this woman. What she went through kind of fucking sucks. But I'm telling the story as it happened because that's how it fucking happened. So a couple of years back, I'm up in Calgary and I'm working at an adult video store. Just basic shit, you know, video rentals, some toys on the shelf and stuff. Nothing too fancy, just a corner porn store in a nice neighborhood in Calgary. You know what I'm saying? And as exciting as you might think it is, it was actually pretty mundane. Most nights I sat there behind the counter playing SimCity on a little TV, and you'd occasionally have a couple of people who come in, rent some movies, and leave. No, you know, there's no adventures in that shit. Everyone's like, oh, you're working at Porker, that's awesome, that's so cool, I bet crazy shit. It doesn't. Hot chicks don't come in there to buy toys and try out things. Okay, it's all greasy looking sleazy guys and middle-aged couples trying to fucking reinvent their marriage. So I'm sitting there one night, it's gonna be like a fucking Wednesday, Thursday, some boring ass weekday, middle of summertime, I'm working the midnight shift there. Hadn't seen people in the store for like an hour. And this guy walks in. Skinny, looks like he's like 40, 45, bald head, kind of looks like a wannabe biker, real hyper guy, but you can just tell he's just a total, like, you know. You ever seen that movie Falling Down? Remember the neo-Nazi that fucking worked at the army surplus store? He looked like that, dude. Like, same voice, same kind of mannerisms and everything. This guy comes running into the store. Like, oh, what do I need for a membership? What do I need for a membership? And he's looking at us like, oh, this is so awesome, buddy. Like, you must love this job. And I'm like sitting there behind the counter like, yeah, whatever, it's great. ID, driver's license, credit cards, or whatever. He's just so, this is the greatest moment of this guy's life. And he's, you know, he's just trying to buddy up with me, don't you know? So, you know, whatever. I sign him up, takes me 10 minutes. I go right back to my fucking, I don't know, it's on the table somewhere. Goes right back to my SimCity. I don't care. He runs around the store. He's in one section. He's in another. He's looking at this DVD. He's looking at that DVD. And he's talking to me about them from across the store. I'm getting annoyed. I'm just trying to play my SimCity. I mean, I don't fucking care about this guy. After, like, I don't know, 20 minutes or so, he's like, hey, buddy, listen, what time you open till tonight? Well, we're open 24 hours. So it's like, oh, that's awesome. I'm going to be back. I'm going to be back in like half an hour. Just wait for me. Like, as if I'm going to shut the store down and wait for this guy, don't you know? So, I don't know. Half an hour passed. 45 minutes passes. I don't fucking know. He comes back into the store. And he's with this woman. She's a big woman. You know, like... And then you can tell, like, right off the bat, she looks like a real sweet chick, you know, like, she does not belong in there, you know. She looks like she's, like, a mother of 4 kids somewhere, you know what I'm saying? Driving a minivan or something. And so he comes in the store with the same burst of energy, like, hey, how's it going, buddy, whatever. This woman just kind of came in barely into the store and stood by the front door. I've got the counter on one end, shelves are all along here, doors at the far end, and she's just standing by the door. He just jumps into this motherfucker. And he's and I'm just sitting there behind the counter playing SimCity. I'm like half kind of what the fuck is going on with this dude, and half of me is just like whatever. I don't even care. So finally, he starts yelling at her like, hey, come look at this. Oh, you gotta see this. What do you think of this? And she's just, oh, that's nice. That's sweet. Doesn't care. Doesn't walk over. He starts calling at her. He starts saying, oh, you gotta come see this. You gotta see this. And she still just won't budge. And he starts getting upset at her a little bit. He's like, don't be like that. You know, get over it. And finally, she kind of hesitantly walks over to him to where he is, and he's shoving a DVD case. Like, what do you think of this? What do you think of this? And she's like, okay, we'll get it. Just get whatever you want. Get whatever you want. And I can barely hear your whispering. She's struggling with this shit. And then he moves over to another section, and she just kind of moseys herself back to her perch by the door. And then he starts kind of berating her a little bit. oh, don't be like that. Get over, get back here. And she's like, I don't really want to be here. I don't want to be here. And I can hear the tone in her voice. She's crumbling, you know? And then he's like, don't do this to me. Don't do this. Don't embarrass me like this. Don't fucking, you promise you do this. You promise. And then she starts crying. And this ain't crying, man. Like, she sounded like whale song on sonar. And it's just this long, minute-long hum of sound. Not even words, not like, it's just... He starts yelling at her, stop that, you're embarrassing me, don't do this, you said you'd do this. And she's just full-blown, I could see from across her, tears are pouring out of her fucking eyes. She's moaning away, bawling her eyes out. He starts yelling at her. He's just going off on her. So finally, I'm sitting there and I'm like, dude, I can't put up with this. So I tell the guy, I'm like, dude, you gotta, like, maybe you shouldn't be in here tonight. Maybe tonight's not a good night, you know. He starts telling me, don't you talk to me like that. Like, I have a membership. I just signed up. She's just being a fucking bitch and whatever. And I'm like, dude, don't talk about her that way. Like, dude, you both should probably go, you know. So they leave. And I can hear them fighting out in the parking lot outside. So finally, he comes back in after like 5 minutes. And he's all like, oh, I'm really sorry about that. I'm really sorry about that. Like, oh, you know, I'm so embarrassed. She's such a loser, whatever. And I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, just go, man. Just leave already, you know? So, that was it. I mean, he left. He never rented anything. I like a week later or some shit, out of curiosity, I punched up his account in our computer. Sure enough, he had never been back in there again. Don't know whatever happened to those two people. But I will never forget that crying. I was just the weirdest fucking, the whole situation was just like, you can't just run into these things. You gotta communicate or something. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the whale lady. Or that's the song of the whale lady, as I call it. I wish that my porn stories were a lot better than that one, but, you know, that's the exciting world of adult entertainment, right?